Okay, happy Friday, guys. Today is the last day, Friday the 5th of June, that we will be looking at the day the crayons quit. We've got a brand new book ready for next week. So, let's carry on. Well, poor Duncan just wanted to colour. And of course he wanted his crayons to be happy. And that gave him an idea. Before we carry on, can you predict what you think Duncan's idea might be? I know lots of you have read this book before. If you can remember, try and think of what other ideas could Duncan have to make sure his crayons are happy? If you can't remember the end of the book, same question for you really. What could Duncan's idea be to make sure all of his crayons in his crayon box are happy? So remember to use your sentence then. I think Duncan's idea is. And there's no right answer for this. It's your idea. It's your prediction. So use your prediction skills. When Duncan showed his teacher his new picture, she gave him a good work sticker for colouring. What does Duncan's picture at the end of the book show us? Duncan's picture at the end of the book shows us that he has listened to all of his crayons and the letters they have written. If you think pink was not very happy because pink had not been used at all, well, we can see, let me just get my pen. We can see here something is pink. We can see, I don't know if that's pink or brown. I think it's pink. A pink horse. We've got a pink postman. We've got a pink aeroplane. So Duncan's really listened to the letters. Grey. Can you remember what Gray said? Gray said he was not very happy at all because he had to colour in big animals, including this whale. Well, Duncan's listened to that and he's not coloured the whale in grey, has he? He's chosen orange. What Gray did say was that little penguins were great and he'd be more than happy to paint little penguins. So that's what he's done as well. Also, if you have a little look, the sky, if you look out the window now, the sky is not yellow, is it? He's chosen different colours for different things. The sea is not green. The sea would be blue. A fire engine is not normally blue. So he's used opposite colours. But in answer to the question, Duncan's picture at the end of the book shows us that he has listened to all of his crayons and he has tried his hardest to make them happy, including the red, because I can see love hearts here that are not red, because Red was fed up, wasn't he, of colouring in everything big and red like the fire engine, and hearts just did not get a rest, and strawberries. Okay, last thing to do today. It's quite a fun one, okay? It's a little game. What colour am I? So, you have got 8 different sections, okay? You need to read what each section says, pause the video, and then you can colour in the crayon the right colour. So think back to the text we've read over the last week and tell me which colours you think are which. Okay, so I don't know if I'm going to have all the right colours for this one, but this crayon thinks he works harder than any other crayon. He has a colour that all Santas at Christmas need. Yes, of course, that one's red. This colour down here, this crayon wants Duncan to stay in the lines when he colours. He is also the favourite crayon for dragons and wizard hats. Oh, I didn't know if I was going to have it, but I have. Purple, you're right, well done. This crayon is proud of his colour, but he is tired of being called light brown or dark tan. I don't think I'm going to be able to find that colour, but that colour, if you can remember back from the story, is beige. I'm just trying to write it, but I can't write very neatly with this pen. I'm sorry. Up here, this crayon is upset because he isn't even in the rainbow. He fills in the empty space between things. This one is it's not really a colour. It's white by itself. I will write the word white. Again, excuse my writing. Underneath, this crayon is very happy with his workload and he enjoys being used to colour dinosaurs and frogs. That's a nice easy one. That one's green. Green was very happy in the book, wasn't he? That was the letter that was a little bit different. Up here, this crayon is tired of being used to colour big animals. He wants to be used more for pebbles and rocks. Can you remember? Pebbles and rocks and mini penguins. I haven't got the colour, but the colour that you were looking for is grey. Okay. This crayon hates being used to draw the outline of things that are coloured in by other crayons, so feels a little bit left out. You are right, that is black. And this crayon feels that he is the colour of the sun and he is no longer speaking to the orange crayon. Can you remember what colour that was? Yes, you're right. It is yellow. So yellow thought he was the colour of the sun. Well done this week, guys. You've worked really, really hard. See you next week.
Morning everybody, welcome to your maths lesson for today. So we're going to start off today with our flashback 4. Carrying on like we've done all week, these are quick fire questions that you should be able to know and get right straight away. So have a little go at the learning that we've already done previously. Pause the video, come back to me when you are ready for your answers. Okay, let's go through these. Nice simple one to start with. Let's have a look at the patterns. So we've got a rectangle, circle, circle, rectangle, circle, circle, rectangle, circle, circle. So the next two shapes are a rectangle and then a circle. I'm sure you managed to all get that one right, so well done you. Okay, the next one is the bee turning clockwise or anti-clockwise. Remember, if it's turning the way of a clock, it's the way that the hands work. So is he turning this way? Clockwise? No. So he must be turning anti-clockwise, okay? That goes backwards on a clock, not forwards. Okay, a third of 15, so we're going to divide 15 by 3. So that's going to give us an answer of 5. A third of 15 is 5. And name the shape. What shape is this? Absolutely right, it's a cylinder. Fantastic job, everybody, well done. So I said to you yesterday we're going to do a bit of more of a quiz type activity today. So I'm going to use Fridays each week to test your knowledge. So we're going to do some arithmetic questions, and then we're going to do some more reasoning questions of things that you've already learned about to really test and see how you're up to. And then there's some optional problem solving if you would like to do that as well. So what we're going to do with this quiz is I'm going to bring the questions up on the screen. I'm going to give you a period of time to answer them. If you can, try and keep up with me and wait for the next one to come on. So we've scribbled down the answer whilst I'm still talking about it. If you do need a little bit more time, that's absolutely fine, but make sure you pause the video in between so that we're not carrying on with the next question as it comes through. Okay, so we'll start off with this one. So it's question 1. Something add 7 equals 15. Scribble that down in your workbook, in your exercise book, and then get ready for me to move on in a few seconds. So something plus 7 equals 15. Okay, brilliant. So now write down question 2 in your workbook. So number 2, and this one is 17 take away 7 equals. Write down your answer. Okay, question 3. Question 3 is 67 plus 10 equals. And question 4. Question 4 is 18 minus 7 equals. Okay, question 5. 30 add 5 equals. Are you keeping up? Question 6. Question 6 is 83 minus 6. 83 take away 6 equals... Question 7, 8 plus 3. 8 plus 3 equals... Question 8. 38 add something equals 46. 38 add something equals 46. Okay, next. Question 9. Question 9 is 9 plus 2 plus 5 equals... And question 10, which is the last of our quick fire questions, question 10 is 33 add 18. 33 plus 18 equals... Okay, and we're going on to our reasoning questions now. So there's a few more words, so listen really carefully. So this number is number 11. Janice has 9 small dolls. There are 15 in a full set. How many more dolls does she need to complete her set of 15 dolls? I'll read it again for you. Janice has 9 small dolls. There are 15 in a full set. How many more dolls does she need to complete her set of 15 dolls? Just write down your answer.
Okay, Friday. Let's take a look at Friday. So, what are the verbs in these sentences? What is a verb? A verb is a doing word. A verb is a doing word. Do it now, like jumping. Jump and jump and jump. A verb is a doing word. A verb is a doing word. Like clapping, like clicking, like poking out your tongue. Okay, so we've got to find the verbs in the sentences. Now remember, a feeling isn't a verb. You don't do a feeling. Okay, so a feeling isn't a verb. So Freya drank her cup of tea slowly. What's the doing thing there? What is Freya doing? Martha is always happy at school. Yusuf writes amazing stories. I was going to say Charlie. Carly was angry with her cat. Which are the doing words in those sentences? Let's have a look. So, drank and write are the easier ones, aren't they? Freya drank her cup of tea and Yusuf writes amazing stories. Now, Martha is, that's the doing bit because she is. Happy is the feeling, but that's what she is. That's the doing bit. Charlie was angry. That's the doing bit. In the past, he was angry. The was is the doing. The angry is the feeling. So in the sentence below, is this sentence below written in the present or the past progressive tense? So we're thinking about, did it happen in the past? Or is it happening right now? Is it in the present? Is it in the past? Is it past tense? But they want to know, is it past and still going on? Does it have that ing? Is it in the past and still going on? So, the narrator was talking in the first part of the play. Now, is that the past tense? Is it the past progressive? Is it the present tense? So, pause me now. Have a think. So it's the past progressive because the narrator was talking in the past, in the first part of the play. So it's past, but still you've got that ing word. It's carrying on. Okay. Now it's really important here that you focus, because you're just copying this sentence, that you focus on what your handwriting and what your spelling looks like. Your handwriting should be bob on. Capital letters should be stood on the line. No leadings on capital letters. They should be super tall. All your ascenders should be as tall as your capital letters, and you should have your descenders going underneath the line beautifully. Your spelling and your handwriting should be bob on, and then I want you to underline the words in the sentence that show it is in the past and that it is progressive. So there's going to be 2 words that you underline. So pause me now while you write out your sentence. Make sure your writing is bobbity bob. Then come back to me. So you should have written the sentence, and the words that you should have underlined were was enjoying. The was tells us it's in the past. The enjoying is the progressive. It's still happening. Okay, so today we're going to write the beginning of our very own Flat Stanley story, okay? So maybe you want to make it into a little booklet. When I was little, I loved making booklets. I've still kept some of them, little story booklets. So you might want to do that. You might not. You might want to write it down on a piece of paper. You might want it in your book. Whatever you want is perfect. So let's have a look back at the beginning of the week where we looked at the beginning of Flat Stanley. So it said, breakfast was ready. I'll go and wake the boys, Mrs. Lambchop said to her husband, George Lambchop, and just then their younger son, Arthur, called from the bedroom and he shared with his brother Stanley. Hey, come look, hey! Mr. and Mrs. Lambchop were both very much in favour of politeness and careful speech. Hay is for horses, Arthur, not for people, Mr. Lambchop said as they entered the bedroom. Try to remember that. What's ordinary about this? Is there anything strange, or is it an ordinary day? Okay, Arthur's using some language that Mr. and Mrs. Lambchop aren't very happy with. They'd rather he wasn't saying, hey, you! Sounds a bit rude, doesn't it? It's like, excuse me, please, Mum and Dad. They must have a very polite household. So, that's rather ordinary, isn't it? It's a rather ordinary beginning to a story. That could be taking place in anybody's house. They're at home, making breakfast, ordinary beginning, ordinary. Now, my ordinary beginning might look something like this. It was an ordinary morning. Mrs. Lambchop was busy hustling and bustling around to get herself ready for the day. Mr. Lambchop was carefully preparing breakfast for the family. Shreddies for Stanley Lambchop, toast for Arthur Lambchop, porridge for Mrs. Lambchop, and fruit for himself. Suddenly, there was a screech from the bedroom where the 2 boys were rousing. As quick as a flash, Mr. and Mrs. Lambchop bolted into the bedroom. All 3 faces were gathered around Stanley's bed, staring in disbelief. Now, something's going on, but it's still all ordinary. Any of that could happen in any one of our homes, couldn't it? I've added some extra detail, so I've told you what everybody's eating for their breakfast and what Mr. Lambchop is getting ready for everybody. I've talked about what everybody's up to, so I've given lots of detail to try and engage my reader, because that's what we always want to do. That's what we always want to do when we're writing, isn't it? But it's ordinary. It's all ordinary, but I've started. Can you see the little trail of excitement that I've left? So they know something's wrong, so suddenly there's a bit of a change of tone. As quick as a flash, they've started to move. They know something's wrong, and then I've left like a little sweet in the middle of my writing. I haven't told you what. I've said all 3 faces were gathered around Stanley's bed, staring in disbelief. You don't know what it is, though. So the reader's going to be going, what are they looking at? Why are they all gathered around Stanley's bed? Why are they all staring? I'm engaging my reader with my introduction. So I want you to write the introduction to your story, starting with, it was an ordinary morning, okay? And then slowly start to use some of those words, suddenly, as quick as a flash, staring in disbelief, that terminology that builds the reader up by the end of your paragraph, a group of sentences that go together about one topic. So this is your introduction, the introductory paragraph. Ordinary day, talk about why it's ordinary, and then start to leave some clues for how it's going to go extraordinary, okay? Hello guys, so I am setting you some CC work for the next 2 weeks, and I've got a primary project and then some secondary projects, and they all kind of link in together. But the one thing that I'm hoping you'll be able to have by the end of these 2 weeks is the primary project, and then the secondary projects kind of link into it. So our topic for Connected Curriculum is still exploring Britain, and some of you have done some amazing exploration of Britain, so well done, you'll have already had a head start. If you want to have a look at this in more detail and you feel like there isn't quite enough here, there's loads of meat for you to get your teeth into on the website, so you can go to our school homepage and you will find it there. If you can think of some more amazing ideas on how to explore Britain, then do that. You are not confined to just doing this. These are just some ideas. So, this is a little overview. I don't know if you want to have a pause here. I'm not going to go through it all, and have a little read of what it is that the areas that we need to be looking at. Okay, so if you want to have a look at that, pause now. Here's the primary activity. So this is what I would love for you to complete, and it's going to link into our English work as well. So if you can complete this, I would love it. So the primary activity, can you make a map of Britain and draw and label some of the physical and human features? So I don't know if you've got any old wallpaper that you could kind of roll out and do it on the back of. I've got some parcel paper that I would know that I would be able to do this on. I don't know if you can kind of get some cardboard boxes, maybe some cereal boxes, and stick them together. I don't know. Is there a way that we could kind of make it on some old wrapping paper? I don't know, but can we make this a large scale something? Because how I'm imagining it in my head is that it could be brilliant. It could be a really exciting, brilliant project that you could bring into school, and we could put this on the wall in our classroom, and it'll almost like fill a whole wall, won't it? So you can draw it, you can make some models. I was thinking maybe some little salt dough models that you could put on there, or some Play-Doh models as well. That shows your understanding. Maybe you've got some little toys, maybe you've got a fire engine or a police engine, and you could go down into Rugeley and you could draw the different fire stations. But I don't know, it is up to you. However you want to do it, there are no rules, but I would love for you to draw and label a map of Britain and Rugeley. What I thought would be a good idea is if you drew your house first. So that's the thing that you know best. So if you kind of draw that first, and then does anybody you know live close by, you kind of build up the houses in and around, and then move it a bit further. So start from the house, start from the people you know and the street that you're in, and build up from there. That's how I would do it. Anyway, if you might have a different idea, and your ideas are always better than mine, so that's just where I think I would start. And then once you've done those, you can start to add in some of the man-made features, can't you? So you can start to add in some of those places that we're going to be looking at in our English as well. It all ties in. So if you could do this alongside that, we're going to be nailing our learning. So you can add in some of these man-made features. And then are there any natural spaces? I know a lot of you have got the green in and around by your house. So where's that? Think about where that is. Is it behind your house? Is it to the right, to the left? Imagine that you're a bird flying above where you live, above Britain and above Rugeley, and you can see but down below you. So it's a bird's eye view that you're going to be doing. So, like I said, you may want to make your map using crayons, paints, felt pens, models, toys, however you want to do it. I also thought a nice idea might be if you go out for a walk, if you're saying, oh, where is that? And trying to figure it out with your mums and dads, you might want to take a picture if they've got a printer at home, and they might be able to print out some of the pictures and stick it onto the map. That might be a big job, and some mummies and daddies might go, I have not got the capacity to do that. Don't pressure them. So don't go, oh, but Mrs. Upton said. It's just an idea. If that sounds fun for you and your family, it has to work for you all. So if that's not a good idea, then there's loads of other good ideas that you can use. So your primary activity, the one connected curriculum thing that I would love for you to do over the next 2 weeks is create a map. You might not get it all done in one day. Pop it away, get it back out. When there's a little lull, you're thinking, what should I do? Oh, my map. I'll work on my map. Okay, because I want to see these. I don't just want the email. I want them coming into school. So that is your primary activity. If and when you finish that, we have some secondary activities. Okay, so once your map is complete, we have some secondary activities. So one of our objectives for our geography is to find a small town like Brereton in a different part of the UK. And Katie Morag on CBeebies is a good person. So maybe you can have a little search on the CBeebies app and maybe you can have a little look at some of the episodes. Can you find somewhere that is similar to Brereton or really different? And can you, I don't mind how you present it to me. You might want to do some writing. You might want to do a drawing of Brereton and a drawing of wherever Katie is. Whatever you want to do to show me how Brereton is similar and dissimilar to somewhere that you've seen. It doesn't need to be somewhere that Katie's been. It can be anywhere, okay? It might be somewhere that you've been on holiday. It might, anywhere. You can compare any way that you want, okay? Also, I thought another nice idea along the geography theme would be to add some geographical vocabulary. So words like beach, cliff. I'm not sure there's many cliffs or coasts in Brereton. You might want to add a little one on the edge somewhere just so you can do some of your geographical vocabulary. The sea, you might want to add some sea or ocean, river, soil. We've got a canal, haven't we? I know there's an allotment as you go past the plum pudding up there. So there's vegetation up there. So I thought it might be a nice idea to add a map. And I've given you a little example at the bottom. So there's a map key there. So it might be that you want to add in some little bits to your map. And rather than it might be a bit overcrowded on your map, to write them just in one corner of the map. So that if someone's looking at it, they'll go, oh, okay, there's a park there. And Mrs. Upton's key for the park is this. So you can add a key to your map. And then I thought your third secondary activity, you can do any of these. They don't have to be in this order. The map's the primary and then all of these are secondary. I was thinking it might be a nice idea if we thought about a monument, something that we could put together to show how we have come through this very tricky time. We're still kind of in the midst of it at the moment, aren't we? But we're living through history right now. In years to come, if you have children and when you're all grown-ups and you're looking back, this will be taught. People will talk about this and we will be in the history books and you'll be able to Google it and go, no way, that never happened, did it? Really? So I thought it might be a really nice idea if we tried to think of a monument. You had a look, Mrs. Munder sent you some CC last time, didn't she? And it was doing the Angel of the North. Well, I thought, could we think of a monument that represents everything that we're going through right now? Is there a way that we could do a monument that shows everybody what we're going through right now? Can you make it or can you draw what you'd want it to be like? And then can you mark where you would put it so that most people would see it on your map? And have a think about why you'd put it there on your map. Would you put it there because it's a quiet place and people can go to it if they've lived through it and they're finding it tricky? Would you put it somewhere like the miners in town near Sea Residential, where you've got the 4 miners on the island near to the petrol garage and Burger King? That's in a place where loads of people see it and they can be reminded of where our town and community was built from. It was built on the mining community, a lot of it. So where would you put your monument? On this page, I've got some ideas. So these are some different monuments, just as some ideas. You can have a little search of what you think a good idea for a monument might be, and you could draw it. Now remember, a monument is inspiring and positive. We want to show how we are going to come through this stronger and better than before. So it needs to be when you look at it, you think it gives you a message. It's a powerful message. That was a really tricky time, and look, we came through it. Look how strong we are. So if you can design something that screams out empowerment and then talk about where it can go on your map, I'd love to see that. Good job, guys.